But then again, like if they go like, no, your car is not as per my standards, I did not build it for you. So what happened is I was in a Mini one day, like 9:10 in the evening. I'm on a flyover. I'm trying to come down. There's a police guy stop me. And I mean, I'm not expecting that to happen, but okay. He's like, "Why don't you have your seatbelt on?" I'm like, "Look at me. Look at my size. How do I close that?" He's like, "I'm like, okay. I'll give you a seatbelt. You try to close it." And I know I can close it. I just wasn't wearing it because the car doesn't go that fast, and there are no airbags. Yeah, you have to die like real men. So I tried to pull it. I'm like, okay, see, look, there's the steering. That's my stomach. It's not gonna happen. He's like, okay, I'm gonna let you go this time. But next time, if anybody else catches you, they probably will not accept that. I'm like, okay, once happened. Second story with, again, now having a lowered car, you go to Sharjah or Ajman, you're screwed. I've gone in a car and I've came back in a taxi because they took my car away because it was scraping on the floor. It was a 350Z. Again, back in the day, I was just roaming around with friends. I was a cop who caught me and it was like, your car is too low. He can't put a finger in. I'm like, okay, what do we do? He's like, I'm going to give you a fine. I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, I started to try to talk my way out. He goes like, no, no, no. Something triggered. And he goes like, no, I'm going to take the car away. And he did that for like, I think 2 weeks. The car was with them. Then again, you have to pay the fine. And when the car comes back, it's never the same car. It takes a while to bring it back to that. And then from that day onwards, any work that I have in Sharjah, it goes on a recovery. It comes back on a recovery. And that, I hate that, but then that's the life. But in Dubai, so far, recently, I don't have a front plate on the Mini. I'm saying that publicly. I don't have a front plate on the Mini. So I was doing a photo shoot. The cop came, saw the car. He liked it. He roamed around, like he took a round around it. And he goes like, okay. I'm like, then he asked me about the plate, and I just said, I just took it out for the shoot. He goes, okay, before you leave, you need to put it back on. And I'm like, okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, so far, I've been okay. Just the radars and basic stuff. Yeah. Okay, my dream car. There are two ways that I want to go to this. So I've got a VW camper, the minivan, the bus that I want, and I've been looking into it for a while. Along with that, I need the bus and a Vespa, classic Vespa, and my Mini to be on the same color combo. So that's my ultimate dream, and that, inshallah, I will one day prove that. But then apart from that, if you go into like a normal daily day dream car, that would be a GTR 35. Okay, well, like I initially explained, when I was really young, my dad used to take me to car shows. So he's not really big into cars, but he has knowledge and he has the likeness towards them because he used to build them when he was really young. Back in Pakistan, he used to sit in the garage and actually see the work happen and then do it with them. So similarly, like in Dubai, like you don't really have that concept of building cars at home. So because most of the people they live in buildings and stuff, so you can't really build a car at home. So whenever he would take his car to the garage, I would go with him and he would teach me like this is what it does and this is how things happen. And then to see them in reality where the cars are actually done, he would take me to like car shows where the new builds are coming in. And then with that and with the help of like friends and your own personal like likeness towards it, you start getting into cars. And I was really young, like so yeah. With that, and eventually once a cop again caught me while doing that when I was in my dad's lap and I was really young, like 5 years old, and he's told me the story. I was sitting on the steering wheel and the cop stopped him, and he goes like, "Yeah, take him to the jail." And then that's how the fear builds in you with the cops. So yeah, long story short, then we both actually started working on cars. We do like even right now we do like build some of the other thing at home. Now he's more into like seeing me do it. He doesn't enjoy the low life because he doesn't have to like stop on his signals, stop on the speed bumps, and he hates that. But hey, I don't think he understands the concept of it. But he goes like, if you're okay with it, and then you break it, you make it, sort of a thing. So yeah, that's how initially I got into the cars. People in car community, well, it's like anywhere else, like at your work or anywhere else. You meet good people, you meet horrible people, you meet decently nice people. Like some you become friends with for long and for lifetime, and some you're like, okay, to an arm's distance. Yeah, you see my car, I see your car. Okay, we're good. And then the other ones, like they're really like people who are haters. Like whatever you do, you build your car to your specification, and you're like, no, this is shit. So we have that here, we have that everywhere else in the world as well. So long, in my opinion, like you go like you be friendly with anybody, you respect their build. You don't like it, you keep that comment to yourself. But then again, like if they go like, no, your car is not as per my standards, I did not build it for you. So you do you, and I think people will always gonna hate and always gonna like your car. And if you're lucky enough to have those friends who have the same passion as you, then you're happy in that way. Because when you go out on a drive by yourself, you got your music on, and people are appreciating. Like you see people looking at your car, and you know, like, okay, they are looking at your car, and they give you a thumbs up, they give you a smile. I think that's what matters. The reason why I got into the Mini was one of my uncles. He has a Mini over there, the classic Mini. So he's done a drive. There's a drive called London to Brighton. Okay, so it's a long drive, and there are like thousands of minis they go together. So that's what got me into minis initially, like when I was there. So I sat with him, and it was a long journey, and like there you see like so many different kind of minis. You see the same identical mini as well, same color, same body kit or whatever, same wheels, and nobody hates on that. Like they just enjoy that drive. You go, you do your picnic over there, and then you drive back, and that's the big scene over there. Like there are other shows as well, like the Players Show, Broke Boys, and all of those. They do those yearly shows, but then the London to Brighton for the Mini specifically is like the biggest show you'd find over there. I do have a Japanese car, I do have a German car, I don't have an American car. So now I would choose a Japanese car for reliability. Why would I not choose the German or the American is I've never had an American, and probably that's why. And the reason why I would not go for a German as well is because of the amount of times it breaks. Because I have a BMW, and the amount of time it breaks, it's just ridiculous. But then again, like the class, the comfort you get in a German is you can't match that with a Japanese car.